Hi everybody, it's Linda from the Crafting Depot, and I am sitting here at my son's house, and I came across this flower. Well, actually, it's upside down. It should be this way. Came across this flower by another artist, very good artist, who did it much better than I am doing it. But I wanted to just come on here because for me to do a video on this, it's going to take me hours, because this is called glazing, and I'm not doing it 100% correctly. But what you're supposed to do is when you put your first layer on, you're supposed to wait, I believe it's like 24 hours till you go and do the second layer. Now I'm working on inexpensive paper. This is like my, I think I told everybody, if you're new to my channel, thank you for stopping by. I'm a very new watercolor person, or someone who's trying to learn watercolor. So these are the first sheets that I bought. I heard, I did some research and I heard that cold press is better to use. So I started with cold press, and the very good artists that are really good are using cold press. So I didn't understand, because then I said, let me try the hot press. So through my research, if you're new also at watercolor, they all recommend cold press. The ones that are really into it are, and doing, been doing it for a long time, they prefer cold press. Now this is not a good piece of paper. As you can see, it's buckled. So what they really like to use is arches. But I don't feel like I'm ready for arches right now, because it's very expensive. And if I'm going to be painting a lot, and especially if I'm not that good, I'm going to use student grade, something that's reasonable. So I was listening to one of the influencers, and she was saying to get, and I wrote it down, she did an experiment on several different types of less expensive student grade paper. And from her study, she said the best one of her recommendation was Gen Crafts. So I went online and I bought 2 packs. There's 60 sheets, 140 pounds, 300 GSM, cold press, acid free. And what I wrote cold press twice. So what I did was I went into Amazon and purchased it, and I looked at the reviews, and the reviews were all really good, considering it's student grade. So I went and purchased it, and it's coming on Friday. So I figured, okay, I'm gonna just do a little bit of this with you, and you can see like it's kind of pilling here and it's buckling, but I'm practicing. And I'm also was practicing these tulips and trying to do glazing. So with glazing, I thought it was a special type of paint, like a glazing paint, but it's not. In watercolor, they use the term glazing, which what it means is you put down your first layer and then you let it sit. I think it's 24 hours or 12 hours. You do not use a blow dryer or a hair dryer. The drying tools. You need to let it dry naturally, and then you'll come back in and you'll put in another coat. So I let the first coat sit 24 hours, but I was playing around while my grandchildren are playing. I had this up on the counter, and I would just fool around and put a little bit more in it, because I was getting impatient and I was really just wanted to paint. But the correct way to glaze is to let it sit for an extended time. I think it was 24 hours, or maybe it was 12. I'm not 100% sure. So this one I started tonight. I drew it out and I started, but I didn't let it sit for 24 hours. Obviously, I started it tonight. So it is dry. And what I'm going to do for a little bit with all of you watching me is to just maybe put another coat of glazing over it. Now I wish that I had the picture that I was looking at, but I have my camera open, so I can't do that. I could have actually sent it to my computer and looked at it on the computer, but I didn't do that. So I'm online, probably not going to be on long because I don't think I can spend, I don't know how much I can do. So I'm going to wet this. Actually, maybe I should have wet the paper first. Okay, so what I'm going to do is maybe go in here and just give it a little bit more of that orange highlight look. I'm just going to go around the leaf. So I'm using wet on dry, and I am just bringing it down because I want to kind of like get more of the yellow in. Not the yellow, it's orange. So I'm gonna just, and I'm using the Princeton number 8. So I'm investing in Princeton brushes because they have a good reputation, and a lot of artists are very well influential artists are developing their own brushes, and however they probably are fantastic, but I'm just going to stick right now with the Princeton. I think later on, as time goes on, I probably will invest in their brushes just to see how they are, and that's that. Okay, so I think I'm going to get a little bit of this yellowy. I'm just going to put a little bit in the middle, and I'm just going to, I'm doing wet on dry paper, and I'm just going to go like that. Okay, so that's that leaf for now, and then I'm going to, I don't really like how drastic or how thick rather this line is. So I'm just gonna, as you can see, I'm just brushing it so it's a little bit. And what's really cool about the watercolor paints is that, as you can see, I just added, now this was already put on a couple hours ago, I just added a little bit of water and it has blended the thicker line out. So that looks pretty cool. I really like watercolor. And what's interesting is my granddaughter, she's only 2 years old, she likes it. You know, she's got less expensive. And oh, by the way, I'm using the Grabby watercolor paints, which are student grade, and I'm going to get more into, you know, the more professional paints. I have the Winsor Newtons. I don't use them as much because I feel that I really want to start with the student grade, which may not be the right thing to do, because they're saying that by using the better quality papers, the better brushes, and the better paints, you will get a better outcome with your paintings. So, but I wanted people that are interested in learning to see what we can do with the student grade paints. I think these are nice paints, but you know, I'm not a seasoned watercolor artist. I'm just dabbling in it. So we're going to get a little bit of this orangey, and that's too orange. We're going to mix into the next color. And we're just going now. So now I just wet the paper, so I'm adding a little. So now I would call it wet on wet. The paint is wet and the paper's wet. Not too wet. Maybe it's damp. So it might be. And you can see as I'm scrubbing that the paper is kind of lifting and pilling, and that's not good. So let's get a little pinkish red and mix it with the orange. Let's go in. Now I'm doing wet on dry. And I'm just going to blend in here where I had that other color, and because I don't want to stripe, so I'm going to add water, and I'm just going to push it. I'm Just going to keep adding water and then try to blend out that line. I don't want it to be so thick. And just adding more water. Just adding more water and pushing the paint. Okay, let's see. Now I'm scrubbing. I don't know if you followed me on my other video, but I showed, and here's a good example of scrubbing. I'm scrubbing the paint to move it and blend it. So here's scrubbing. And there. Now maybe what I would do is just get a little tiny bit of the pink, and I got a hair. That's probably from Bosco, little devil. He followed me into the room here before because I had a bag of potato chips. Yes, I cheated. I had a bag of potato chips. And he followed me in here, and I figured, okay, good opportunity to do some teaching with this big guy. He thinks he's the alpha dog, and well, he is the alpha dog, you know. He kind of controls us. So Grandma's trying to teach him better manners. And you know what? He listens with food, boy, let me tell you. He sat down and was very good. Especially if he wanted that chip, which I gave him a very tiny piece, very tiny. Okay, so now that's enough of that on that leaf. That will need to sit. So I'm going to move over to this leaf. And let's see what we can do. Let's get a little bit of the red again. I'm going to add some water, and I'm going to do wet on dry. And that's too heavy, so I'm going to push it, and that's still too much, but we'll see what happens. I'm just going to push it out and let it, and I want this little highlight here. I just didn't want it as, let's get a little bit of this and this orange. Yeah, there we go. I hate when that happens, when I am not paying attention to the camera. I need to pay attention to the camera. Okay, let's just see. Somehow I got a little bit of brown in here. That's way too much. Okay, so we're gonna do that. I like that. And we're going to just use the tip of the brush, draw like a line. Do that. Bring that down like a point. And do that. Let it look wavy-ish. And I'm just using the tip of the brush. There's a lot of practice that has to go into making these fine lines. They're very difficult, I find, in my opinion, because my hand shakes. So I'm going to go in here and try to blend out this thicker line and make it a little bit thinner just by using a little bit of water and just blend that out. And look at that. Look at how that watercolor just blends around and moves. I mean, it's amazing. It's very meditative. very relaxing. You know, as long as you're not hard on yourself, everything that we learn in life just takes time. So enjoy the process if you're going along with me on this journey. This is a journey. Okay, that was too much. So I'm going to push that. See that? Nothing to worry about. I had too much water and then I just went in with my brush and I pulled it out. So I'm going to go over here and I'm just going to scrub a little so that blends. And it's your painting. Don't, you know, like I heard an artist say this before, don't copy me. You know, watch people, but then do you. You know, sit down and, you know, you get ideas. We all get ideas from each other. And then just make it your own. Like I'm not even looking at her painting now. And I'm just doing me. And look what's happening. I'm just gonna bring these around and let this it would take years for me to become as good as the artist that originally drew this, but you know what? I'm having fun in the meantime. Okay, so that one we did, this one we did. This one I did a little while ago. And oh boy, that's a hard one. So I'm trying to make these lines go like this. And I struggled. As you can see, this paper is buckling. So this is going to go something like that. And I think I had too much water. I'm running out of this color. Yeah, that's too much water. Yeah, I don't like that. So I am gonna skip that and move on to this one. This one's dry. Okay, what are we gonna do here? We're going to mix a little pink with some of the orange and add a little water it down, and we're just going to go in here. This is called glazing. Normally you would wait longer than I did, but when you're putting one color over the other like this, several coats, it's called glazing. I get a little bit of water, and now I'm just going to push it. I'm going to blend it. And I'm just going to scrub this so that the line gets a little bit thinner, the outline. And my hands are very shaky, so it's hard for me to, see, I already made a mistake. And I didn't bring in a paper towel. So what I'm going to do is just, because leaves have different shapes, we're just going to push it out. No big deal. And then what I'm going to do is get a little bit of this, I think it's burnt umber. And I know I'm supposed to wait, but I'm just going to go over it. There we go. All right, and then what I'm going to do is turn this around so it's easier for me to have water on the ferrule. So the ferrule is this part right here. For anybody that's new like me. If you're a seasoned watercolor artist, don't get offended. I'm talking to those people like myself who are newbies. We're all newbies here on this channel. But eventually we're going to progress. So I'm going to scrub, do a little scrubbing with the tip and try to spread that paint, that extra paint, because the line is very thick, in my opinion. Oops, another boo-boo. There we go. So flowers are forgiving. And something should definitely go in there. Maybe a little highlight. Let's see, maybe some yellow. And there's more that can be done. This one, yeah, this one's dry. So let's move this over and let's see what we can do in here. Just maybe a little bit of scrubbing. Pushing the paint. There is something very relaxing about this. So I got a phone call from a friend and who I hadn't talked to in a long time, and she was curious. She's actually somebody that my dad used to date a long time ago. And you know, she was like, what's, how's everything going and blah blah blah. And I just nonchalantly said, I'm just into painting now. So after we hung up, I sent her one of my paintings and she got all excited and said she wanted to do it. So she's probably watching. So if you're watching, Maureen, I'm really excited to have you on my channel. And where am I? Over here. I want to just blend this out a little bit more. So this is not going to go on forever, because now I have to let this dry. And I'm going to add some water and just do some scrubbing. And maybe add a little bit of yellow to this also. It's a very bright yellow. Maybe in here, which is too wet, so probably when it dries more, oh, look at that, I'm scrubbing it with the yellow. So that's so this is called glazing. Now I'm pushing the paint. And as you can see, the paper is starting, because it's not good quality paper, the paper is starting to lift and pill. Okay, so this is the leaf, this leaf down here. See, this is the way you're supposed to look at it. There's something about it, I don't know. just don't like. Maybe lift that. Maybe it's the thickness of my veins. Lift that. This is not good right here either. Try to fix that. And this right here I don't like. Let me see. Which one? I think it was this one. I'm just trying to go over, I guess it's called glazing, right? That's what we're doing, glazing. And let me see this paints. Okay, so we get I thought there was something else mixing in there. I think it's green. Let me see. Am I in camera? Okay. Oh. That was not good. Oh God. I'm gonna have to move it. Let's see what happens. So I learned something else about cold press versus hot press, and a lot of artists use the hot press because if they're making digitals, it comes out much better without the impressions of the line, like the ridges. So that's why this one artist said that they would use the, you know, I don't like this. Let's get it out. Okay. Let's see if I can blend that. Maybe get it out. That didn't work. Let me get this brush a little cleaner. See what I can do. Anyway, moving along. Yeah, so that's what she was saying, was that a lot of artists prefer, you know, when they're doing this type of stuff, they prefer the cold press. This is cold press. Yeah, cold press. So the cold press is the one with the textures on the paper. The hot press is smooth. And that, not coming out good here. I don't know why this leaf is intimidating me. Let's get some more of this and go around like that. I may have to let this dry more. I think that's what I need to do. So I wanted to come on. Yeah, I did. Okay, everything's wet. So you can't, when you're glazing, I'll go over it again. When you're glazing, you just want to, after you put your paint down, you want to let it dry naturally without any hair dryer. So tonight was basically just, letting you see me struggle with trying to paint this flower, and then introducing the types of paintbrushes that I'm using. I'm using the Princeton paintbrushes right now. And I just ordered some less expensive, Arches is like a really good quality. Winsor Newton they said, is very good quality paper. Meaden makes really good quality paper. However, because I'm new and I'm going to be painting a lot, this stuff isn't going up on the wall or being framed. I went and bought the GenCraft 2 packs of 140-pound cold press paper to do my practice on. So that's what I'm doing tonight, and I just wanted to come on and show you and give you a few tips. Whatever I learn, I will share with all of you. And like I said, practice is what gets us to become a little bit better. Not being hard on ourselves, enjoying the process, and just having fun. So that's what we do here at the Crafting Depot. We have fun. I also have made journals. If you want to look in my playlist, you'll see some of the journals that I have made. They're up on Etsy, and that's my junk journal section. And now I'm leaning into painting, which is what I've always done in the past. So with that, if you like this information, please give me a like, because it helps YouTube say, oh, they liked it, and if you send me a comment, it's even better. If you subscribe, wonderful. And if you'd like to watch my journey, hit the notification button. So with that, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.